Welcome back to What Arty Noobs with General Disturbance. This is the GSOR3301 AVR FS. It's a Tier 9 British light tank. It's the next one after the LHMTV. It's located on the south spawn of Redshire and it's under the command of the BassmanFromHell of FILO. Well, oh, no engine noises yet again. You can only have two guns in this tank, either the 85mm, which is the stock gun, or you get the 90mm gun, which is the top gun, and that's exactly what Bassman's got in this tank at the moment. It's capable of doing 240 alpha and penetrating 232mm of armour with standard rounds, and with the APCR it goes up to 254mm. He was spotted, so he'll have to immediately scarper. It was an EBR-90 that spotted him. Yeah, I'm afraid he just got countered by the lights. But it looks like he might be going back to the bush, because they probably think he's pulled away from there. Although if they see the tree go down, they probably thought, yes, he's come back. Okay, this is a very good spotting position. Bit obvious, but yes, it can spot quite a lot of the enemy going over towards the Zeppelin, as well as the ones up on top of the hill. And if they try to go through the valleys just sort of south of the hill, then they get into trouble. When he actually managed to get a hit there on the Renegade. Or was it? No, it's the Super Conk he actually hit, not the Renegade. But he's shooting these guys because there's bushes in between, and of course he's actually blocked, or the enemy's blocked from seeing him from that direction. But the EBR's come back and he's patrolling. He's keeping mobile. And he might come over in this direction. Bassman's managed to get a spotter badge already. Of course, he only gets that spotter badge if he survives the game. Well, Redshire is supposed to be a recreation of the British countryside, or the English countryside as they actually call it, but it's not really, no. Yes, England does have undulating hills and the like, and rivers running through the valleys, but it's not really like this, no. Although they do have stone walls up in Yorkshire, so you would have that sort of stone wall effect in some places. So it's more like Yorkshire than Redshire. Okay, he's trying to get up to that bush, the bush where the EBR would normally be. Got spotted again. There's a Hawk 30 over there. That's probably what's spotting him, and he's diving for the river to get below that bank, because then it's very difficult to be shot at. Okay, he's going to give him another go. The Hawk has moved this time, so he might be able to get into that bush without the enemy seeing him. And he was seen again though. Mostly by those guys up on the hill, but he is getting good spotting, and he's now up to just below 3k. Now he's 3.5k of damage, spotted and assisted. He's really helping his team, because every time he pops up here, oh, drive into the wreck, that could be fatal. Ouch. Yep, the Leopard prototype doesn't waste any opportunity to put a 105mm round right up his rear for 437. That was expensive. It was an APCR round as well. You don't really need to fire APCR into a GSOR. It's got virtually no armour. 35mm at the front, 25 at the sides and 20 on the rear, on the hull. The turret's got 70 at the front, 30 at the sides and 20 at the rear. So you can see this tank has no armour whatsoever. In fact, if it was in a tier 1 game, it'd get penetrated by a like tractor or a LOL tractor. So the only reason you wouldn't see a light tractor or LOL tractor firing at one of these is unless it's in a training room. It's about the only place that you could get those two tanks together. Unfortunately, we just lost our defender. Yeah, he met the artillery shell from about at 155.55, which was coming the other way. Okay, well, he's now going to go up on top of the hill here, I think, and spot the guys on the other side. But there are some enemy over there who did see him, and they tried a quick snapshot. Now, one of the best things about this tank is its speed. It is very fast to accelerate, and it's also very small and got great camo. So it's very difficult for the enemy to spot you unless you're on the move. And that T-54 now couldn't see him at all until the shot actually hit him, and then it was too late. So the best defense for a GSOR, and you saw how that tree was stopped by him, or stopped him. It only weighs 7.8 tons, this tank. It's very, very light indeed. So it really hasn't got any pushing power to knock a tree down. But it does accelerate very, very quickly. Its top speed is 65 kilometers an hour, and it gets to that speed pretty quickly. Reverse speed's only 25 though, so don't expect to try and reverse to get out of danger. You can only do that in a wheelie. He's desperately trying to find some of the enemy in that area. There's a T-55A somewhere on the enemy team. Let's go up to the centre line again. Nobody at the ridge line. Oh, no, there is. In fact, actually, that guy was unspotted until the shell came in. It's the CS-63. Was the Progetto. Progetto 46 was the one who fired at him, but the CS-63 was right next door. Now he's going to go and do a quick run through this area. Okay, he's found the CS-63. Where's that Progetto? There's that T-55A. He's over in the corner, and the Kunstpanzer's going for him. Okay, nice. He can get shots on that guy. Good one! Takes him out. Yeah, 90mm guns, much better than the 85mm. It's just the reload time is a bit of a bind. It's 9.3 seconds by the book, but the baseman's managed to get down to 8.72. You know, the enemy's still got 5 tanks in this game. That Progetto, well, times 2, and the CS-63, who's just the other side of that ridgeline now. They've got another GSOR of their own. In fact, actually, it's the 1008. It's the tank destroyer, the autoloader, which are quite deadly. Because last video you saw featuring Bassman was actually on the where he was on the Lakeville map, and he actually got taken out by a GSOR. So he knows how powerful those things are. They really can dump a lot of shells into the enemy very, very quickly. So you don't want to get hit by them. And you can see how driving into obstacles does slow your GSOR down quite a lot. Looks like the CS-63 is taking a lot of damage. He's a one-shot now. And Bassman comes in, locks on, fires around him, gets some damage, but doesn't get the kill shot. So I think he's going to stick around and try and get around in. Oh, we lost the Jaegeru. Goes for the weak armor. Yeah, he held his fire until the last possible minute, but he's taken 2 rounds from a Progetto, both up the rear, and he managed to escape with only his ammo rack destroyed and a sense of pride bent a little. But he's now unspotted, and he's sitting on top of the hill. I don't think the Progetto knows where exactly where he is. They're down in that copse. And I think both of them are down there. So he's going to have to get close if he's going to allow his teammates in the Rain 40 ton to get a shot. And there's the Progetto. And this time round, yeah, he does make sure. So he's left the battle with 4 against 3, rather, not 40. Our team's got 2 Artys, Conqueror gun carriage and FV3805. They should be able to help the Lorraine and the M46 Patton to finish these guys off. $5.7k of spotting is a lot, so he's about to do well on the results. The only problem is that the enemy's got 2 Progettos and that GSOR, so they could be quite a deadly force. be a bit worried if I was in that Lorraine 40-ton tank going on into the near the cap area on my own. There could be somebody waiting for you in the woods. Trouble is, somebody's going to have to go in to find the enemy. I must admit, I'd be very tempted for the Lorraine to say, look, I'll pull out, go round through the castle and come up that way, because I think the Progetto 46 went south through the castle and he's now hunting the FV3805 and the Conqueror. Baseman is trying to say to the Arty, blind fire the Progetto. I think the one that killed you pulled out of that position. He immediately went south. He was over by that rock over there. Well, we switch to the FV3805 for the moment. And now to the Lorraine. He keeps cycling through them. Don't do that too often or I'll take control of the camera. Lorraine is very low on hit points. It's a one-shot for Progetto. That's why I think it would be better for him to do a scouting roll up the left side or the west side of the map. He can approach the cops from a different direction. Neither him or the M46 Patton wants to go ahead. And I can understand why the Lorraine 40-ton doesn't want to, because obviously the moment he's spotted, he's dead meat. And we've lost the Conqueror. The Progetto that was on the west side did go south. He was looking for Arty and he's found the Conqueror. And if he found him in the river, that means he's coming up behind the Lorraine. I wouldn't be surprised if we see the FV3805 go and oh, there goes the Lorraine. So the one from the cops, it looks like he's gone up on top of the hill. And I think the other one circled back around and found the Conqueror in the river. So I think he might be down by the riverside, in which case the FV3805 might be about to die. It's a pity that Lorraine driver didn't take the opportunity to return and come up by a different direction. He would have caught that Progetto up on top of the hill. He would have been able to snap him. The enemy has way more hit points than us. And we don't even know where the GSOR is. Now the Progetto that was near the river has... Oh, well, he's down there and he's taken out the FV3805. In fact, both Progettos are there. But one of them gets taken out by the Patton. But remember, there's still that GSOR. And the Progetto's now going to take out the Patton. And that's it. End of game. This one is a loss. The second replay in this video is the GSOR on Minsk. Game started and yet again no engine noise. Well, I think that Baseman is finally getting to grips with the GSOR and he's looking for a good game, and well, he's rushing straight to the front to get sign of the enemy, and he spotted two already, a Batchat 25T AP. In fact, he's spotting a lot of the enemy as they're just coming out of the gate. That's a huge number of enemy tanks, and he's even found a T-49. He's crossing the river at a breakneck speed, trying to get away, and the enemy's firing at him, but oh, only the E-50 actually managed to get a shot on target, and that's from the other side of the river as he was just about to cross the bridge. Okay, so he's managed to get to this position, but he spotted a huge number of the enemy with his first shot and deliberately knocks down that wall. I like to knock down some of the trees in that area because it does provide good cover if you're sniping at the enemy tanks who happen to have come over. Good handbrake turn, and he goes back to cover the same ground again. Just keeping tabs on them. Now, as you know, as I said earlier, it's a 90mm gun capable of 240 alpha, 232mm of penetration with the standard rounds. And Wargaming don't think that's high enough, actually. They think that you have to resort to premium rounds if you want to get major damage in this tank. Well, I think that they're probably wrong. 254 is what you get with the premium rounds. That's only a little bit more than the standard rounds, only 20mm more. So it's not a whole lot. Okay, so he has been spotted, and I think it's either the Concept 1B up there in the north that saw him, or it's the T-49. Well, it's the Concept 1B who fires at him, so I think it was that guy. And he gets one round into him, but of course he lost 386 hit points of damage, so it's not really a fair exchange. But there again, he is doing a lot of spotting at the moment. Making good use of the handbrake turn there to do a 360. What's that about 360? No scoping? Yes. No, I don't think he's no scoping in this one. He has to see where he's aiming. Okay, trying for a shot. Those guys are actually behind the buildings. It's the guy behind him that he needs to worry about. That T-49. I think he's got the 90mm gun from the sound of it. If it was the 152mm, I think we would have known it. Yes, he would have received considerable damage. Yeah, T-49 keeps ducking down as he gets spotted. Of course, we don't really have that many tank destroyers up front, and he's now been hit by the Char Future 4 over on the west side of the map. And the problem here is he didn't knock any of those trees down, and they would have provided cover for him if he'd done that. But so he took a round there that maybe he could have avoided. But I'm sure things will get better for him. He's already spotted 1,841 hit points to spotting assist, but he is a one-shot for the enemy now. So he's decided to pull back. Whoa! That's a 360. Not the way he expected to do it, longitudinally. Yeah, if you don't look where you're driving, sometimes it can be rather awkward. If he can track that E50 when it's out. Yes, I think he did hit the guy through the tracks. If you can hold him there. No, he did pull back. That E50 is more reluctant to come through that gate now. Our M50, M55 is on the west side of the map as well, and for a brief moment he's got shots on that Char Future 4, so he got revenge on that guy for knocking him over. Now he's knocking trees down to provide himself a bit of extra cover, and he needs it because the Char Future did see where he was, and the E50 is firing in this direction as well, so I guess he might still be spotted. Okay, this tank does have good spotting though. I mean, good camo, and it's very small, which makes it very difficult for the enemy to spot. So those gaps between the buildings actually provide fairly good spotting and shot avenues for the light tanks out in the field. I've never realised that before. Obviously, I've always taken a position where the most of our forces are in the A line and shoot at the enemy as they come towards you. But of course, apparently, if they go behind the buildings, the guys up on the A line can't shoot at them. But someone like Bassman, who's situated in the field, can shoot them through the side. Well, the Char Future came out round the corner and the Skoda managed to pop him. And that means now there's only that Leopard prototype and the E50 up at the north end. Looks like they've pulled back. Okay, T-49's no longer in play. He's out the game. Didn't see how he died or who killed him, but Bassman's decided to pull back and help his teammates to overcome the E50. So he didn't manage to do a 360 this time, but you never know. He's getting better and better at handling the GSOR. This little tank was actually developed during the 1960s. It was one of a series of light tanks that the British put together. Unfortunately, it only existed in blueprints. Oh, it's very light, as you can see, with a lot of power, which means that it did manage to hop up and jump over that ridgeline as it came over. The E50's been spotted. You're on the road, and the E50's right next door to the Opera House, and he's coming round to have a look round the corner. He's trying to get shots on the Leopard prototype who hits him, but can he get shot? Yes, he does. And immediately he scarpers, but the E50's got something else to worry about now. He's trying to hit this Leopard. Hits him in the tracks. I don't think he's too concerned about the E50 now, because the E50's fighting a pair of Skoda T50s. In fact, now he's spotted an enemy Arty, the 212A, and I don't think he's been spotted himself. There's an ST1 coming up the one side. Nice shot into the 212A, and he got some spotting damage, or spotting assist there on the Liberté, or was it not the Liberté, the M451, but they did see him. So he's got close to the wall to protect himself from the ST1 and also that M451. That Leopard might be trying to get a shot back at him. He can hit the M451 from here, but he's decided to hold his fire. Leopard's going into the buildings. The M451's about to die. Nice shot through the side. Yes, into the engine bay. Hopefully that slowed him down. He was spotted though. Now the ST1 behind him has been taken care of by the Skodas. But the M53, M55 was watching him, and he took a round directly from the Arty and died. That just leaves the Leopard prototype, who went into the buildings because he just felt it was too unsafe to be out and about. And he's only got 356 hit points, so he won't be alive for very much longer. So I think we can join everyone. Oh, there's no point because the Leopard prototype just died. So, game over. And it's victory. Let's have a look at the third game. The third game in this video is on a cliff map. Let's see how he gets on this game. Okay, no engine noise yet again. I don't think Wargaming is interested in fixing it. I mean, certainly you have the engine noise during the game and on certain replays as you've seen, but not on this one apparently. The whole video, no engine noises. Well, normally light tanks would go straight to the top of the hill on this game and spot from the top, but of course it's a very dangerous pastime because the tank destroyers will try to sniper you out. In fact, I've done that many a time myself. You snipe the enemy and you pick up loads of spotting, and oh, he's found a few enemy here. AE Phase 1 Leopard prototype, and he got a shot in on the AE Phase 1. Not a lot of damage, but he got some. And he also spotted the Leopard prototype going up into the TD sniper position. And well, he's trying to get to the position to spot, and the M60 is blocking him. He's totally blocking him from doing that. And the M60 himself is a bit of a nutter because he just openly went to that gap. Well, Bassman managed to get a shot there on the Wizzy 1111 GFT up on the sniper position. But it's not wise to stay in that gap. And he's lost his gunner. He needs to use his first aid kit. He didn't use it, so he's actually fighting without a gunner at the moment, which is not good news because it means you can't dial in. I'd abandon this position and pick another one. Yeah, he's doing the right thing. I popped that gunner back in. Yep, he's done it, because this tank is no good whatsoever if it can't respond to an enemy fire back the moment it's been spotted to try and stop them from plugging you full of lead. Well, in actual fact it's steel, isn't it? Not lead. That's what they fire. So he's going to try and get some spotting from this direction first. He's found a 60 TP. I think somebody'd seen that one before. Didn't pen him though. Yep, that guy's coming this way. Nope, that one ricocheted off the lower plate. Another hit into the tracks. But at least he has got a spotting assist now. Spotting badge rather. For spotting at least 1,000 hit points of damage. And the X60 TP. Oh, he takes that one. I think that shell must have gone between the tracks. And the kill shot goes to the 705A. He puts one into an A phase 1. He's going after the CS59. And he could actually kill that A phase 1 now. I think the CS is going to do that. Okay, so this is quite a strong position now. It's got 3 tanks through the north side or around the cliff side of this map. And normally that means the enemy has now got an enemy on a completely different flank, which can be fatal for them. Now, if Bassman was to quickly head on down towards the TD position, he can keep those guys highlighted until the Arty can deal with them. I'm sure those TDs are still there, but they're going to have difficulty trying to spot Bassman. Oh, no, I say that, but no, it was actually a medium tank that spotted him, not the TDs. In fact, there's only the Leopard prototype that we can see up there, but the Wizzy 111 GFT is in that direction. He's just put around into the rear of a Conqueror, a Super Conqueror. The guy couldn't see him, but these guys know where he is. Even if they can't see him, they're firing rounds at the bushes. And unfortunately, he took a round there from the Leopard and also from a T92 HMC. Luckily, the T92 only got some splash on him. But he can keep hitting that Super Conch so long as he stays behind this rock. Don't poke your head out. So if you poke your head out, it'll get blown off. Ah. Batchat 25 ton who managed to put a round into him. But that Batchat's going to die momentarily. Yep, he's gone. Okay, let's follow the action. We'll stick with the 705A for the moment, I think. Well, it looks like that Malshan has decided it's not wise to come up, because it's not just the 705 here, it's also the Udes who's popped round the corner. 705 is now headed towards the last known position of the Wizzy 111 GFT, and he's found instead an AMX 1390 hiding at the back, and he takes a big shell. Not sure that was from the 705. Well, that's a ram kill. Yeah. If you're in a light tank, don't get rammed by a medium or a heavy, because you are going to die. Certainly true if you're in a GSOR. Well, the Malshan's gone. He was eventually killed by the Jagdtiger. And what's going on down this end? Because there's only 4 enemies left. We're zooming up to watch the Superconch, who's hiding in this corner. He's got 2 enemy tanks above him, and there's only the RT left on his team. He's taking fire from above, and the 60 TP decides that he wants to land on top, and so does the T30. It's actually the 60 TP who gets the kill. Okay, those guys are definitely Arty hunting now. And in fact, actually, one of them has already gone. He was over in that corner. So we're now looking for the enemy Arty over in this corner of the map. Somewhere in there is an Arty. And he's getting ready to shotgun one of them. There he is. He's actually in that corner. Well, he's not showing up. And, well, he was killed by the Jagdtiger. It's a pity we didn't actually see him and see that, yes, he was found and taken out. Let's have a look at the end of battle results for all 3 games. Starting with the first battle on Redshire, BassmanFromHell in the GSOR managed to get a first-class tanker in that game. And you can say this is the first-class tanker he's had because he's got the scrolls underneath. He also got a sharpshooter badge for getting 10 or more consecutive shots on the enemy. And he did get a patrol duty, even though he died during the battle and they lost the game because the enemy progettos managed to clean up after them. So win 8 was only 1565 out of that game, but he did get a lot of spotting. But look at the team scores, we can see that he's nowhere near the top. He only got 1031 hit points of damage, and the high damage was actually done by the progettos. In fact, I wonder, is that the progetto that killed him in the game? Yes, it is, I'm afraid. That progetto is the one that got Bassman. He managed to pick up 11 Slayers, Pascucci's, high caliber, top gun, and a tank sniper. This guy really rocked it. Look at that, 15,860? I think it's 660 actually, but yes, it is 660. I really need to get some bifocals, I think. So he really did well in that game. More kudos to him, but unfortunately bad decisions, I think, by the team. The Lorraine 40-ton could have gone, circled around, found that progetto, and taken him out from the castle. Anyway, that aside, he managed to get 3 kills in the game, which puts him at the top of the table on his team, but not overall because that progetto managed 6 kills and the CS63 on the enemy team got 5. And when it came to base XP, he was top on his team as well with 739 thanks to all that spotting. But the progetto on the enemy team did much better with 1059, the CS63 1012. Bassman fired 7 rounds, got 7 direct hits, but only 6 penetrations, 1031 hit points of damage, of which 651 were more than 300 meters. He received 6 hits from the enemy during that game, 5 penetrations and 1 non-penetration. He was lucky that that non-penetration was also didn't penetrate because, as I said, this tank has no armor. So he's lucky if anything hits the tracks. He obviously needs to go out and buy a lottery ticket straight away. 5 enemy vehicles spotted, 4 enemy vehicles damaged, 3 killed, and 6,437 hit points of spotting assist. So that's why his XP is so high, and also why he managed to earn quite a lot of credits. 49,235 credits from the game, 24,617 from personal reserves, and because he got a Battle Hero medal, 5,427 for that one, total of 79,279 credits, but he did have premium consumables, and as a consequence he actually made a loss of 9,586, yes it is, I really must, as I said, get the glasses fixed. 1,108 base XP, 622 for Courageous Resistance, 1,731 from Personal Reserves, a total of 3,462 experience points altogether. So that one was a bit of a pity that it was a loss, but it was entirely down to the guys who were left. They really were static after he'd gone because they couldn't work out where the progettos were, and if only one of them had disengaged, then they could have changed the battle and turned it around. Let's have a look at the second game. That was the one on Minsk, and in the Minsk game, look at this, a second-class tanker, a little less than the last game, but he also got a spotter badge for spotting at least 1,000 hit points of damage, a fire for effect for doing more damage than the hit points of his own vehicle, yet another patrol duty, and this time because he did that mad run straight down the centre to the bridge and then run across the bridge, he actually got a scout because he spotted at least 9 of the enemy right out from the start. He got a Confederate for hitting more of the enemy than anyone else on his team, and a tank sniper as well, because most of his shots were at very long range, as he was getting good accuracy on the enemy as well. 2,288 was the win 8. Sad that he died, but there again, he was moving in the enemy area, and the Arty did have him zeroed in, and the moment he came out of cover, bang, that was the end of his game. He actually spotted 13 of the enemy. I suspect that the only one he didn't spot was the Arty. And in fact, actually, if we scroll the page, oh, he did see the Arty. In fact, he saw both Artys. So I'm not sure. Oh, it's actually there. There's one of them, the Concept 1B. He didn't spot the Concept, but somebody else must have. And I presume there was another tank in the game that he didn't spot as well. But anyway, we can see if we look at the team scores on this one, they did win the game, and the highest damage went to the Emil 2, who got a high caliber for 4,893, The second highest damage in the game was actually the Leopard prototype on the enemy team, 2,663. And, well, we can see Bassman, he's a little way down the table with 1,792. The GW Tiger on our team also got a Confederate out of that game. When it came to base XP, it's the Emil who did the best with 1,249, followed by the Bassman with 1,003, and they were the only two who managed to get over 1,000. Bassman fired 9 rounds in this game, got 8 direct hits and 7 penetrations, damage of 1,792, of which 1,542 were at more than 300 meters, so most of his shooting was long range. 3 hits received, all 3 penetrated, and he did get 1 hit by way of splash, but that was the one right at the end of the game, which killed him. 13 enemy vehicles spotted, 6 enemy vehicles damaged, no kills, and 3,165 hit points of spotting assist. He earned 47,180 credits from the game, but after repair, ammunition, resupply, consumables, he actually made a loss yet again of 12,261 credits. 1,504 XP, and no multipliers, so that's all the experience points he took away. So, a good spotting holy trinity, you might say, if only it was an ace tanker as well. It's the patrol duty, the scout, and the spotter badge, but you want the ace if you can get it. That would be the holy trinity. But he spotted 13 of the enemy team. That is a pretty good achievement, and obviously players who try to emulate that will probably get blown away as they try to cross the bridge. It is a smart move in terms of getting first eyes on the enemy to get onto that middle road right from the start whilst the enemy is still forming up and still moving to their positions, but it's a good idea to get back off that road quickly by the first available spot, which is obviously going back exactly where you were, doing a handbrake turn, going back the same route. If you try to cross the bridge, you're just an easy target, and he did take a round as he crossed the bridge. So, yeah, that a lesson, because I think if you do try to do that route, you will die on the bridge because the enemy will really hammer you. So, really good really good spotting game on the first and second game. Let's see how he managed to get on in the third game. That was the third class tanker. He also got a spotter badge yet again in this tank, and it's a light tank, so that's what it's supposed to do. It's supposed to spot. He also got his first mark of excellence in this game, as well as a fire for effect for doing more damage to the hit points of his own vehicle. His win rate in the game was 1,801, and if it wasn't for that M60 shoving him out of the way or blocking him from actually getting shots, he might have been able to spot some more, but he was of course forced to abandon that position after taking a massive round from the Leopard right at the start and having to pull away because he lost his gunner. If you look at the team score on this one, we can see that again he's way down the table on damage. The high caliber goes, so it wasn't a high caliber actually, it's the M60 got 3,843, the highest damage. The second highest damage was the 705, got 3,584, and the third highest damage was the Jaeger with 3,004 exactly. Bassman 1,413, which is not bad, but it's a light tank, so it really doesn't have a very big gun. Not in the tier 10 game. When it came to kills, well, there were 4 players who managed to get 2 kills apiece, but the Bassman didn't get any kills at all. But when it came to base XP, he's a little higher up the table because he got 774, but the high scorer was the Object 705 with 939, followed by the CS59 with 885. Bassman fired 10 rounds in this game, 10 direct hits and 6 penetrations. So not all of his shells penetrated the enemy, but every one of them hit the target. He did have a few that hit the tracks instead. 1 splash damage as well, 1,413 hit points of damage, of which 287 were at more than 300 meters. 4 hits received, 3 penetrated, 1 non-penetration. Yet again, he's very lucky to get non-pens, and 1 hit by way of splash damage. That was from the T92 HMC, who managed to put a shell near him, but not on him. 4 enemy vehicles spotted, 4 enemy vehicles damaged, no kills, and 2,341 hit points of spotting assist in this one. Again, he earned 37,569 credits, but he, after repairs, consumables and ammunition, he actually made a loss yet again, 43,062 credits. I guess he is using premium consumables each time and he's having to use them, and that's ripping away all of the credits that he's made for his action. 1,161 XP, ×2 for the first victory, took away 2,322 experience points altogether. I guess it won't be long now before we see the Bassman from Hell driving a Manticore, although why anyone would want to is beyond me, because well, only masochists would actually get it. He has to be a bit of a masochist to go up the British light tank line, because after all, these tanks really don't have the same capabilities as some of the other light tanks in the game. Certainly the Manticore is nowhere near as good as the T100 LT, which probably is the best light tank in the game by far. But there again, it's not Russian, is it? This is a Russian game, so you'd expect the Russian tanks to be doing well. Okay, so 3 replays from Bassman. If you enjoyed them, please give this video a like. Do subscribe to our channel. Leave a little comment down below because it feeds the algorithm. And thank you for watching.